everyone, it's Amanda Blain here. Thanks so much for pressing play. I just wanted to share a little bit about the upcoming online training that I'm holding. This is going to be available both live and in a recorded format. And it's all about the subconscious mind and overcoming the fears of the subconscious. So, the title of the workshop is Releasing Subconscious Blocks. And it has been inspired by the fact that the subconscious mind governs nearly all of our life experiences. It acts as a filter, filtering out the details of the present moment to support the early perceptions that we formed in our childhood. So, usually, these perceptions were formed before the age of 7. And these perceptions tell us the way the world is and how we need to interact with the world in order to feel good enough or worthy, in order to feel safe or secure, and in order to feel vital to our communities. Now, there's nothing wrong with these perceptions, but these perceptions can be limiting because they are based only on the experiences that we had early in life. So it's not really based in reality, but it's based on experience in a very short time in our lives when we were surrounded by mostly our families and their friends. So it's really has been the subconscious perceptions have been heavily influenced by that early environment. And a lot of these perceptions are really based in those fears of just not being good enough or secure in the world. So it's really important to take a look at how these perceptions are governing your life, especially if you are feeling a lot of stress, especially if you're feeling like you're stuck in an emotional rut or you keep experiencing the same emotional triggers in life. And if you're experiencing a lot of confusion about your life path, maybe you're in a job that is helping you pay the bills, but you don't really feel inspired by it. And you're wondering if this is something you can really do for the rest of your life. Or maybe you're living in a city that doesn't necessarily light you up. Maybe your heart's longing for a different experience, but you are afraid to leave your environment because you don't want to be separated from all things and all people familiar. Or maybe you find yourself just constantly on the go, being incredibly busy and overworking and just always being controlled by this fear to get more done so that you can be safe and secure in the world. That's a fear that I know very well. It's something that, from personal experience, I had worked in the corporate world for over 10 years and just felt my soul really dying. Just felt that I was working for companies that initially I really believed in their mission and thought I could make a big difference working for them. But as I got deeper into my role, I realized how limiting it really was. And just that doing the same things day in and day out were just that sort of habit and routine was really causing me to feel a bit dead on the inside. There were a lot of passions and talents and interests that I didn't have the time to explore because I was so busy chasing that paycheck. And I was trying to fit some of my interests into this box that I called my profession, but it just wasn't enough. I was definitely not in my fullest expression. And this showed up in my life as great stress, as compromised immunity, and just feeling sick and imbalanced in my body, and also showed up in the desire to numb out. So if I wasn't working, I was finding ways to kind of numb out of the fact that I was very confused about my life path, and I was very much afraid of choosing a new path because I didn't know if I would be secure. So in order to numb out of those fears, I would swing from going out all the time to just constantly be surrounded with people to try to lift my mood and keep me busy, or exercising too much, or constantly going to a class or a workshop just to stay busy so I didn't have to face the emotions of living in a constant state of fear. Um, so eventually I left the corporate world and I joined the Peace Corps, thinking that if I just threw myself into humanitarian work, that I would feel so inspired and that I could reinvent myself and do a little good in the world. And there was nothing wrong with that decision, but it was just a band-aid. So yes, I chose a new life path, but I chose it without ever really acknowledging the underlying fears that had been driving my entire life. Um, and I also did not have an understanding about the subconscious mind and how the subconscious perceptions and the fears embedded within those perceptions cause our stress. So I just thought if I change everything I'm doing on in the external world, then I'll feel better on the inside. And 14 months into my Peace Corps service, I had become so incredibly imbalanced in my body because I was still imbalanced emotionally, because I was still living from subconscious fear, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of not being secure. And I was very attached to my new identity as a humanitarian and as an international aid worker. And I really was using that identity to numb out or distract me from the feelings of great fear. And so yeah, when we don't want to pay attention in life, the world has a way of coming along and waking us up. And sometimes that happens through a car accident, or a relationship ends, or your body starts screaming at you through some sort of disease. And so I was experiencing my body screaming at me. And yeah, eventually was led to my mentor, who I've been working with for quite a few years now, and really working on a deep level to dissolve those root fears. Um, and as I have worked with dissolving those fears, my entire outlook on life has changed. Not just my outlook, though, but um, the difference now is that I'm driven by passion and inspiration uh, rather than fear. So there's a lot that I could share there, and I'll do that in upcoming videos. But really, just want to share this as an invitation to get to know the subconscious mind more intimately, to understand that it's actually governing about 98% of our lives. And when once we have a look at the perceptions and the fears that are contained with the subconscious mind, we can start changing our relationship with fear. And we can change it in a way where we are no longer blinded by fear. The fear has this effect of allowing us to only see certain possibilities for our lives. Fear can make us believe that we must have a certain job, or we must make a certain amount of money, or we must find a certain partner, or we must constantly overwork and give ourselves away, or all of these different things that fear tells us we must live our lives in this particular way in order to be safe, or in order to be seen as worthy by others. And there's really no truth in all of that. It's just all stemming from those perceptions that we formed early in life. And if we don't change it, then we risk continuing to feel stressed out. We risk being stuck in an emotional rut, constantly feeling the same emotional triggers that we've felt since our childhood, and feeling those triggers show up at work and at home. And in addition to that, we can spend a lot of time just feeling very confused about what we're doing on earth, what we're supposed to do with our lives. And with that can also come a feeling of great emptiness, just feeling empty and kind of dead on the inside. So if that is something that you've been experiencing, then I hope you'll consider the upcoming workshop with me. If you're interested, just email me at amandablainyoga@gmail and let me know why you're interested. And we will open up a dialogue to determine if this workshop is going to be truly beneficial for you specifically. And then we'll go from there. So if you want more information, you can also visit my website at amandablain.me. And on that website, you will see the 2 online trainings I have available. One has already been recorded. It is called Change Your Relationship with Fear. And the upcoming workshop is called Releasing Subconscious Blocks. And that is taking place at the end of March. It will be held live and then also be recorded for anyone who cannot attend live. So have a look at that, and then I will be back with you very soon to share some more examples and intimate details about how fear and the subconscious mind work together to keep us feeling blocked in life, and what we can do to begin moving beyond that. So really excited to be with you in the journey. Hello from Vietnam, and I'll be back with you all very soon.